What's up, guys? Aisha here with Patrick Hoban at YCS Toronto.
Hey, how's it going? I played a Shaddoll deck with Gem-Knight cards. I didn't do great. I think the concept was really good, but I didn't test it very much. I think it could be refined a lot, but I think the idea behind it was pretty solid. Like, the plays are really powerful. So it was, like I said, it was Shaddolls. I played just minimal Shaddolls. I played just one Hedgehog because, like, I wanted to be able to send it to the grave, but I didn't really ever want to draw it. Like, I don't think he's one of the better ones, but like I still needed the option to be able to get the first one, but I didn't really think I needed the second one. I played 2 Falco, 3 Squamana. Squamana is probably the most important one just because him in any light, you can go send El Shaddoll and Core and then add El Shaddoll back to your hand. So he's like the one you want to draw. Plus, if you draw him, like, he's any of them. So it just made sense to play 3 of him. 2 Beast, and then just 1 Dragon. The thing I don't like about Dragon is it's like it takes away from your opponent, and I would always rather like give myself an extra card instead of like take away a card from my opponent. So I didn't think he was great, but I did play a lot of Rogues, so maybe I should have played a second one. And then for the lights, I only played bare minimum number of Clowns. But the reason for this is because of Brilliant Fusion. And what Brilliant Fusion does is there's a Gem-Knight Fusion that's a Gem-Knight and a light monster. So I played 3 Brilliant Fusion, and Brilliant Fusion can send these. So it's like, I only played 3, but I had like a lot more access to them from the Gem-Knight Fusion. And you don't really want to draw multiples, so that was why I just kept it to a minimum there. I played BLS as my beater, and then the 2 Gem-Knights I played, I had borrowed them, I had to give them back, but there's just 2 Gem-Knight Garnet, which is just a 1900 vanilla monster. It's a level 4, you can exceed with it. It sucks to draw, it's an Earth, you can make Shake and Agua, but I think that Brilliant Fusion is powerful enough that it might be worth it anyway. I played 1 Gigabyte. The only reason for playing this was for a water.
Yep.
I played 1 Gigabyte. The only reason I played this is for to make the water fusion against Necros. You can search it off of King of the Feral Imps, which rank 4s are really easy to make. So I thought the 1 was enough just because like you don't actually want to draw it very much, but if you do draw it, then he doesn't have a bad effect. Like he can just special himself and then make rank 4s. But just being able to search it gave you a lot of like power with it. And then like the next cards I played were 1 Photon Thrasher, 1 Armageddon, 1 Blazeman, and then 2 Rhoda. These cards all kind of go together because like with Shaddolls, you really want to be able to play the first fusion card. But you don't want to have a bunch of them in your hand because like you just don't have enough monsters for that. But you can't play if you don't get the first one. So the compromise was I played 1 Blazeman with just 1 Polymerization. So it was like I had the extra fusion cards, but then 2 Rhodas could get the Blazeman if I didn't have a fusion, but then if I already had a fusion, then the Rhodas could go get something else and they'd have another purpose. So it just kind of fixed the problem of always wanting the first but not really wanting multiple ones after that. And then I could go get Armageddon Knight to trigger any Shaddoll effect, or Photon Thrasher. He makes rank 4s with like all the monsters, but if you use a clown with him, then you can make Bojinki Tsukiyomi, which is you just discard your hand and draw 2 cards, and like it's not a cost to discard your hand, so it triggers all the Shaddoll effects. So that card's actually really strong.
Also light.
Yeah, he's a light. He's a light Rhoda target too, which is important. Yeah. I played 3 Brilliant Fusion, and I had to give the 3rd one back, but it just summons. It's a level 5 Gem-Knight monster that lets you have an extra normal summon, and you can fuse from your deck by sending 1 of the Clowns. And then you have to send Garnet. And one of my losses, I actually drew double Gem-Knight Fusion and double Garnet. And then since the Garnets are my only 2 targets, and this has to send from deck, it can't send from your hand. I just have like 4 brick cards in my hand. But this card's really strong. Like it gives you a lot of options. Foolish. Really, Brilliant Fusion is like playing extra copies of Foolish Burial. 3 Upstart, Soul Charge, and then 3 of each fusion. In the traps I played Core and 3 Solemn Scolding. The reason for Scolding was I found that this deck couldn't really beat Dark Hole. It was like you summon Anti-Atlas and they have Regeki or Dark Hole, and you would just lose the game outright. Like you put up a giant field, and like a lot of people were siding Regeki or maining Regeki usually and siding multiple Dark Holes. So I found that like it'd be very rare that they had an out to a big field twice. So it was like if I just wanted to play Scolding, then I could put up a field, and then they probably wouldn't be able to deal with it twice. The extra deck, I played 3 Construct, 2 of the Water Fusion, 1 of this. I'm not gonna attempt to pronounce it. Winda. I played 2 of the Gem-Knight card. I think it's called Seraphinite. I had to give him back though.
Seraphinite.
Yeah. And then Exiton, Tsukiyomi, Emerald. I liked Emerald because you can put back the constructs, and like really the game goes on until you run out of constructs. Like when that happens, you kind of lose. So I like being able to put them back with the Emerald. King of the Feral Imps to go search the Gigabite to make the Water Fusion against them, against Necros, Castell, and then the only synchro I played was Arcanite. And then the side deck, I played 2 Denko Sekka, Thunder King, just 1 Puppet Plant. Puppet Plant was kind of like, I thought about playing more, but like since they could just stop it with Trish, it didn't seem like amazing. But this deck has a real problem dealing with Unicorn, so I still wanted like some ways to deal with it, and that's why I decided Regeki as well. Is because like I wanted the variety. It was like this one stopped by Gungan, this one stopped by Trish, so it's like some like I don't want to play like 2 Puppet Plant instead, where they're both stopped by the same card. I'd rather have like 1 and 1. And that's the second dragon against other deck, just like all the non-Necros decks essentially. Mind Control, 3 Mistake, 1 Breakthrough. This was mostly for Diamond and Unicorn. And then one of the different things that I did was actually sided like multiple extra deck cards. Is Crab King, Karen Gorgon, Dweller in the second window, and like I don't think that's really been a thing before. Like, sure, people sided like Cyber Dragon and like Chimera Tech, but other than that, it was never like siding multiple extra deck cards has never really been a thing. But I think the idea behind it was like I could side deck cards that are good in specific matchups, like needing to out towers. Instead of having to draw a card to out towers, I can just like make it for my extra deck, and then it's like I have the use without having to actually draw it. Then I wanted the second window against like the non-Necros decks. Dweller, I wanted against most decks that weren't like Satellers. I wanted it against BA, and in the mirror, I didn't really want it, but I'd probably side it in just because you don't need cards like King of the Feral Imps if you're not trying to make the Water Fusion. And then Karen Gorgon, I said it was specifically for Necros. It was he gave me a rank 4 that could attack over Unicorn, and then when I sided in Mistake, I could just set a card with the Mistake and then have it protected from MST. So yeah, I think that like having cards that you don't have to draw, it seemed like what I would want in a side deck. So it actually just kind of made sense, I think, to side the multiple extra deck cards.
Alrighty, well, thank you, Patrick.
No problem. See you guys.